chi chi se nam kha ne ba dang do wa che se te se da ne jo ne do ve do nge se wa ra shu.
Now we got the other speaker because we got some from Sanskrit tradition. Professor Wong Chuk Doji Neki. So he got 15 minutes, please. Okay.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. At the outset, I would like to thank Buddhist Thai Bharat Society, Bodh Gaya, Dalai Lama Trust, and Central Institute for Higher Tibetan Studies for giving this precious opportunity to share some of my view in front of gathering. At the same time, I would like to say sorry because my English is not enough to give such gathering, but there is no optional other than speaking English because of the audience. Organizer have given me to speak on Four Noble Truth. Since last inaugural section, I found many things are very much similarity in Theravada tradition and the Sanskrit tradition. Of course, among this Four Noble Path also, I found very much similarity. There is little bit differences in the training of wisdom. Among Eightfold Path, of course, we categorized into the three sections: training of morality, training of concentration, and training of the wisdom. The morality and concentration, there is no much more difference, but regarding the wisdom, definitely there is slightly difference. That difference is not the new coined, I think. If you go back to the Buddhist Council, Khuddaka Nikaya is the oldest text book in the Tripitaka. They are mentioned that during the first Buddhist Council, they are, how to say, I don't say fail, but they, in first Buddhist Council, they are unable to recite the Abhidhamma. Why? Because there is definitely, if they will recite the Abhidhamma course, since Abhidhamma courses belong to the metaphysics, definitely there will be differences will be occurred, and maybe Buddhist Council will be failed. Therefore, I think that they do not recite the Abhidhamma course. But the part of Abhidhamma course, like Eight Noble Fourth Path, Four Noble Truth, and Pratitya Samutpat, etc., are they included into the sutta. And at the same time, you can see this, even Second Buddhist Council, they do not recite the Abhidhamma. So this shows that in the field of pranja or wisdom, definitely there will little bit differences. But I think that difference is natural phenomena. For example, we are here in this hall, like more than 100 people. We all are the human being. But see, our each and everyone's appearance is different. And at the same time, we speak, but way of speaking, way of sound, rhythm are different. If our appearance is different, way of speaking is different, why not different the way of thinking? I think that is natural phenomena. So, therefore, I think, okay, this will, we can understand to another analogy. To me, when I talk my students, I used to say that Buddha was like a great physician, like a doctor, physician. Physician doesn't have any power or any authority to prescribe medicine by its own choice. Physician has to follow the patient. If patient is suffering with a headache, he have to prescribe the antidote of the headache. If someone is suffering with the tuberculosis, he have to prescribe the antidote of the TB. And if someone is suffering with a cancer, so physician has to prescribe the antidote of the cancer, So physician has no power. Likewise, after the enlightenment of the Buddha, he used to go to house, village to village, and province to province. And he come across with the different people. Sometimes he come across with the king, minister, and farmer, and of course scholar, and many. So according to their problem, according to their disposition, Buddha has taught. If we try to think in that way, I think diversity of Buddhism is the quality of the Buddhas. If we have such kind of understanding, little difference, I think, doesn't matter. And the main purpose of Buddha's teaching was, as said in the Dhammapada, sarva papasya akaranam kushalasya upsambada swachitva prayotpannam etang buddhanam shastra. To tame our wild mind is the Buddha's actually essence of the teaching. Because we are suffering not because of the external some power. We are suffering because of this defilements, because of the destructive emotion, hatred, jealousy, ignorance, and so on. So Buddha's what he taught is how to remove, how to minimize these all defilement was Buddha's teaching. In that base, we are all same. We are all follow the Buddha. We are all follow the Buddha Dhamma. When we talk Buddha Dhamma, what is Buddha Dhamma? Is Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path, Interdependent Origination, for Brahmvihara, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeksha. These are our practice actually. We are all same in this practice. Definitely, of course, in the way of analysis, as I mentioned before, differences will be possible to be there, but we are speaking, we are thinking, we are analyzing the same common thing, I think. If this kind of we have understanding, very easy to make harmonize in the Buddhist society, I think. Yeah. I think main problem is, this language foundation, main problem, main differences is, if we have common language, I don't think there will be any problem. We can share each our, views fully, openly, We are striking because of the language boundary. We think that, Theravada and Mahayana are very much different kind of. Because of not knowing, lack of knowledge, because we are facing, apart from that, there is no much more differences. Another thing is, again, I would like to emphasize that Buddha's teaching is like, I gave my student analogy of the, if we have to grow sensitive plants, if we have to grow a mango tree, small mango plants is very sensitive. It needs the fencing to protect the animals and many other, obstruction. So we need to fence. So our external, these activities and way of wearing clothes, performing rituals, dogmas, these are like fencing. Actually, these are not the real Buddhist practice. Of course, that need. Because without having fencing, we cannot protect that sensitive plants we need. But main purpose of that fencing is to survive that actually plants. Likewise, what is main practices? Practices, as I mentioned, how to remove, how to minimize our defilement. That is the actually essence of the Buddhism. So we need to focus on that. When I talk about this, how to minimize, I think it is best way to think about the life of the Buddha. Because Buddha is the founder of our lineage. We all are follow the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. So we have to think of the Buddha's life, how he lives, how he spent his precious life. In Tibetan language, the life of Buddha is called Namtar. I think there is very deep meaning. Namtar means liberation, like a door of liberation. If you know how to live Buddha, if you know proper life story of the Buddha, this can lead you the liberation. Actually, if we all emphasize on the life of the Buddha, then definitely I don't think much more we need. For example, Buddha was, okay, time left? Okay, anyhow. Like Buddha was, a prince. He abandoned his kingship. He chose to become a beggar rather than king. If we monks have that renunciation mind, our practice will be perfect. I think we need to inspire from the Shakyamuni's Buddha's renunciation. See, he was king. When he was, even he born outside the luxurious palace. He born in the, garden. It itself shows that he come to this being to benefit the sentiment, I think. Even we ordinary being, we all maybe get birth in house, if not in the maybe hospital. But Shakyamuni Buddha, he born the outside of the palace. And then, see, he was prince. He did 6 year, rigorous practices. He was prince. So when we come across with the difficulty in the practicing, we need to think of the Shakyamuni's Buddha life. He was prince. Even he did 6 year, rigorous practice. So if we take inspiration from his lifestyle, I think we can develop our, spirituality very much. And then see, when he was 35 years old, he attained the Buddhahood. In external appearance, he was prince, beautiful, smart, adorned with the minor and major signs. Yeah, prince he was. But inside, he was awakened one, realized one Buddha. But even after the enlightenment of the Buddhahood, he lives like an ordinary being. He walks home to home, village to village, and province to province. We need to get inspiration from that. If we do that, as our Geshe Labdullah asked, responsibility of the monk, if we are able to take inspiration for Shakyamuni's Buddhas, then I think definitely we can help the, lots of the being, I think. And again, when you see how Buddha was passed, even during the Buddha's period, like king of Magadha, Bimbisar, Ajatashatru, the king of Shravasti, Prasenjit, and king of Avanti Udayan were become his disciples. And they built Gandhakuti, Shravasti and here and there. But during the time of his death, again he chose remote area, Kushinagar. Even his attendant, Ananda, asked him to please don't pass away such like remote area. It is good to be passed away in like either in Shravasti or Rajgiri. But he denied and he passed in Kushinagar. Very simple way between the tree. He placed his mat and he passed. That was the Buddha's life. If we are able to get lesson, inspiration from, I think, Shakyamuni's Buddha lifestyle, our life will definitely meaningful. Since we all become a monk, it is very much, I think, need. That what I want to share. Maybe okay. My paper is actually not that much complicated. Very simple way I have written down. This is already in the proceeding. Maybe you can read. There is no much, and there is any difficulties to understand. I think main thing is Buddhism is how to generate body mind, how to become a good person, how to live a proper way, ethical way. That what we need. Rest are, I think, okay. Rest are comes, it's by its own, I think. With this, thanks.
Thank you very much, Professor Wangkuk Dorji. First of all, I must say is when we start and we expect in detail of the Eightfold Path, and both speakers approaching exactly the same because we come from more or less the same tradition, and also all of us know the Eightfold Path is our part of our daily practice and also the teaching. Especially Venerable Than Dr. Khantipalo, he also had mentioned the Eightfold Path: Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vaca, Samma Kampanto, Samma Achivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. It's very clear at the beginning, and also Venerable Professor also support the approaching of the Buddhism by the Prince, showing how quality of the Buddha teaching. He had mentioned that sacrifice and take out more and more of the defilement, kilesa, is the way to approaching enlightenment. We have limited time to talk. I would like to give another short break to give to individual to have to last staying. At least 2 months have, if they like to say something before we're going to have the closing ceremony, and also maybe take feedback. So it may be good for Venerable Khantipalo. He would like to say, add on his speech a little bit for 2 minutes. And also, please be prepared for 1 minute or 2 minutes to be able to conclude your summarize your talk for today. And I am pleased that all of us here will prepare to do for next step our work in the future. Thank you. For 2 minutes for your conclusion. Thank you.
Okay. Again, I don't know whether how much I can justice with the Four Noble Truths in the 5 minutes, but anyhow, I will try my best to explain about Four Noble Truths. When we talk about suffering, generally in the literature, they are mentioned that there are 3 categories of suffering: suffering of suffering, changing of suffering, all-pervasive suffering. But let change of suffering and pervasive suffering, that take suffering of suffering, It need not to be quote the Buddha's any quotation kind of. Just you look yourself day by day. If you can't get a meal for 3 days, look whether this world is joy or suffering or what. If you can't get water for 2 days, then you can understand whether this world is suffering or not. Sometimes I think that we are like suffering with the diabetes. Those patients who are suffering with the diabetes, every day they need to have 1 pill, when get up. Likewise, we are having medicine every day in the form of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you can't get this, suffering is there, right? And then go to the next. what is the cause of the suffering? Of course, cause of the suffering is get birth in this world is the suffering. So what is the cause of the get birth in this universe is craving, desire towards self and towards phenomena, you know. So until then, we have these defilements. Defilements is similar like, you know, cobra, snake, poisonous snake. If poisonous snake is somewhere in this room, can we sit with the happy? Can we sit with the joy? You know? No, there is no way to live with cobra with peacefully. Likewise, all these defilements are like a cobra, poisonic, you know, snake. If these destructive emotions are in our mind continuum, there is no way to get peace. So that is the cause of the suffering, actually, Buddha has said. So what is the antidote of that cause? Samudaya Satya. Of course, Eightfold Path is the antidote of the you know, suffering. So what is Eightfold Path? As I mentioned, morality, concentration, and wisdom. You know, main thing is the wisdom, is, you know, analyze. Try to think of. In Theravada tradition, they very much emphasize on the impermanent nature and anatta and dukkha. You know, but in Mahayana tradition, we treat that all phenomena are lack of inherent existence. All phenomena are like an illusion. Apart from nothing is there. In some extent, when I, you know, try to contemplate, sometimes it seems very much similar kind of. You know, because I have opportunity to, you know, do this Vipassana, Goenka Vipassana. I did 2 times Vipassana. I find there, you know, when we look the body, Kaya Anusamriti, of course, this body is what? Nothing, million, billion of atom, which is arising and ceasing, which is arising and ceasing. Apart from that, nothing is there. You know, when you contemplate that, gradually it goes like a wave kind of energy wave. Apart from that, nothing. We get, okay, 1 minute. It's okay? Okay, I want to complete this sentence. Like that, like a non-dual stage kind of. Even, you know, if this body is changing each and every moment, then what is present? Past is gone. Future yet to come. What is present? You know, what is present? Nothing present is. Apart from past and future, what is present is. You know, in that sense also, when we are perceiving this looks like a firebrand. Apart from then what? The reality is, present moment is nothing. But we are perceiving many hues, these all stuff. This is like a firebrand. I think this is, again, similar with the Mahayana. This world is like an illusion. Even we don't have the deep knowledge of the Pratitya Samutpat, even we have understanding of the subtlest nature of the impermanent, I think that is enough. That is the path. With this contemplation, we can able to detach from this universe, and then we get cessation in Theravada tradition. But according to Mahayana tradition, we think that, of course, mind has no beginning. You know, the defilements are not the nature of the mind. When these, because defilements are adventitious, temporarily, when this temporary thing will be removed, of course, luminous mind will be there. If the nature of mind was craving, desire, and these all sorts of things, then it's possible that when these oil-like desire and hatred will remove, then maybe mind will be ceased, but not. Luminosity of mind is always there, beginningless time. So when you remove these all destructive emotion through the compassion, you know, with the power of the compassion, you can get birth in this universe. I think that is possibility. We need to think, contemplate on that also, you know, why mind is ceasing, when craving is ceasing. What is the relation between defilement and mind? Why defilement destroying this existence of mind? This what we need to think of. If we are able to, you know, think that point, maybe again, then like a bodhisattva's view, till this space will remain, being will remain, till being will, I will born in the cyclic existence in order to benefit the being. This will come by its own, I think. Thank you.
Sadhu. Excellent. Thank you very much, both of the speakers. It's a time for us to look at what we prepare ourselves for since yesterday, for today, and also the feedback of our work. From yesterday, we have different sessions from Vinaya, Sutta, and today Abhidhamma, and also the heart of the teaching. So all of these are the teaching in Buddhism from two schools. The school that we belong to, tradition of Pali and traditions of Sanskrit. We come to conclusion what is the feedback individual may consider. You may ask a question, you may point out the question, you may show your vision, and also the feedback of this session. It's a time for us, all of us, not only the monks, but the lay, to consider what the work that we really prepare ourselves. It is just about to end of our today's seminar. So I would like you to consider together and think what exactly that you learn from the speakers each day, not just only today, not only this session. Not only ask a question for to these speakers, but also feedback, think about it, and see more detail of from yesterday. What you think we need to put it together, and what you think where we're supposed to go next. This is my question to ask you. And you may ask individual, or you may feedback by yourself, and it's a time for us to consider about 30 minutes. So I would like to say thank you for speakers. They're going to present your gift first, and after that the feedback can be our conclusion. Feedback ก่อนใช่ไหมจะให้ feedback ก่อน yeah okay คนนั้นเลยจะ no another session okay so they ask we another session of the feedback okay thank you yeah please come yeah please come yeah thank you We leave it first and then we conclude. Yeah? Okay, thank you. I have to listen to the MC because otherwise, when we talk and then they turn off the MC, it's quite difficult. However, now I would like to ask the coordinator what you would like to do. The question now. The finish, yeah? No more question, yeah? Okay, right, okay. So would like to, any feedback, please? Anybody like to say anything on the feedback now? Thank you. Yeah, I will have to finish very soon. Anybody have to any kind of feedback to say something?
Feedback is in fifth technical section. No, our job is
finished now, yeah?
Okay.
Okay then, thank you. So thank you. I thought the feedback now, another one coming. Okay, thank you. Abhivadana Siddhi Saniccaṃ Vuttha Pacayino Cattaro Dhamma Vatthanti Ayuvanno Sukhaṃ